Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking into something I think pretty much everyone deals with at some point.
That feeling, right? Overwhelmed, maybe stressed, anxious.
Totally. Or just running on fumes, low energy, trouble sleeping, staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m.
We've all been there. And it's not just a feeling. There's data from 2022, pretty recent, showing almost 1 in 5 adults had anxiety symptoms.
And even more, like over 1 in 5 with depression symptoms just within a 2-week window.
Exactly. It really highlights how much we need, accessible tools, ways to find a bit more calm.
Which is exactly what we're diving into today.
Right. We've gone through this really practical guide. It's packed with simple techniques, and honestly, most of them are free.
Okay, good start.
The goal is dialing down that stress, helping with fatigue, boosting energy, getting better sleep.
Sounds like a magic wand.
Well, almost. But importantly, this guide makes it clear. It is not medical advice.
Right, gotta stress that.
It focuses on what they call functional disorders. Think of it like your brain software is a bit glitchy.
Like a computer needing a reboot.
Sort of. The underlying hardware, the brain structure itself is fine. It's the operation, the software that's disrupted.
Okay, so we're talking about those day-to-day feelings and struggles, not necessarily like diagnosed conditions needing immediate medical help.
Precisely. And the guide really emphasizes these non-medicinal approaches. They're getting a lot more attention lately.
And for good reason, I imagine.
Yeah, because they have this potential to work on 2 levels. They can tackle the symptoms you feel, that anxiety buzz, the tiredness, but also maybe get at some of the deeper psychological stuff that feeds into it.
That makes sense. It all feels interconnected, doesn't it? And our source digs into how chronic stress isn't just mental. It hits the body too, right?
Yeah.
Especially the immune system.
Absolutely. Chronic stress means your body keeps pumping out cortisol, which is fine short term, but long term.
Not so good.
Right. It can actually weaken your immune defenses.
No.
And it ramps up inflammation everywhere in your system.
Wow. So finding ways to hit the brakes on that stress response is pretty crucial for staying healthy then.
Definitely. Especially with everything else our immune systems are dealing with daily.
And it's not just one thing causing all this stress, is it?
Yeah.
The guide kind of paints a picture of a whole pile of modern stressors.
It really does. It's like a perfect storm sometimes. You've got
Yeah.
work pressure, performance anxiety, job insecurity,
Yeah.
then relationship difficulties, which, let's be honest, online stuff can sometimes make even trickier.
Oh, for sure.
Add environmental worries, pollution, climate change. It's another layer.
And then there's technology,
Hmm.
the constant connectivity, information overload.
That double-edged sword, exactly. Plus the social comparison trap.
It feels like we're constantly juggling. And that's just the external stuff coming at us. We've also got our own internal things going on.
Precisely. Our own thought patterns, maybe negative loops, perfectionism, self-doubt, they play a huge part. And then the physical factors pile on too. Money worries, lack of sleep, maybe not eating great, not moving enough.
It's a web.
Yeah.
Everything affects everything else.
It really is, often feeding off each other.
Okay, so the guide doesn't just list the problems, thankfully.
Yeah.
He gives us a toolbox, right?
Right.
Tools to start untangling this mess.
Exactly. And it starts with something incredibly basic, something we always have with us, but maybe overlook its power.
Okay. What is it?
Our breath.
Breathing. Makes sense.
The guide details several breathing techniques that are surprisingly effective at short-circuiting stress and anxiety.
Like diaphragmatic breathing, belly breathing. I've heard of that. What's the key idea?
The main thing with belly breathing is its direct link to your nervous system. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system.
That's the calming one, right? Rest and digest.
Exactly. Your body's natural brake pedal for stress, it directly counters that fight or flight response.
And how do you actually do it?
It's pretty straightforward. Get comfy, sit or lie down, put one hand on your chest, the other on your belly. Breathe in slowly through your nose. Focus on making your belly rise like you're filling a balloon. Your chest hand should stay pretty still.
Right.
Then breathe out slowly through your mouth, letting your belly gently fall.
How long should you do that for?
The guide suggests anywhere from, say, 1 minute up to 20. An average of 5 minutes is often really effective.
And when's the best time?
Anytime, really, especially when you feel stress building up, or it's great before sleep to wind down.
Can you do it often?
Daily. Multiple times a day if you need it. It's amazing that something so simple has been part of well-being practices for, well, centuries.
Okay, technique number 2. Box breathing. or square breathing sounds very structured.
It is, and that structure is part of why it works so well. This one's actually used by Navy SEALs.
Wow, really? Why?
Because it's incredibly grounding. It helps regulate your breathing and nervous system very quickly, sharpens focus under pressure.
Okay, how does the box work?
Simple 4-count cycle. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath gently for 4 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Exhale slowly through your mouth for 4 seconds. And then hold the breath out for 4 seconds before you inhale again. That's 1 cycle.
4, 4, 4, 4. Like a box.
Exactly. Repeat the cycle.
When would you use this one?
It's perfect for quick stress relief, like right before a meeting or a presentation, something where you need to be calm and focused.
And duration?
About 1 to 10 minutes. 3 minutes is often a good sweet spot. Again, you can do it daily or whenever you need that quick reset. If it helps, SEALs stay calm.
Yeah, speaks volumes, right? Okay, what about alternate nostril breathing? Nadi Shodhana. Sounds a bit more complex.
It has deep roots in yogic tradition. The idea is to balance the energy flow in the body and harmonize the left and right brain hemispheres. Promote calm.
How does it work?
You sit comfortably, use your right thumb to gently close your right nostril. Inhale slowly and fully through your left nostril. Then, close your left nostril with your right ring finger. Release your thumb from the right nostril and exhale slowly through the right.
So you switch nostrils for the exhale.
Correct. Then you inhale through the right nostril, close the right again with your thumb, release the left, and exhale through the left. That's 1 full round.
Okay, takes a bit of coordination.
A little bit, but you get the hang of it quickly. Just keep alternating like that.
How long for this one?
Guide suggests 2 to 10 minutes, maybe 5 on average. It's often recommended for the morning to start the day calm or before meditation.
Okay. And the last breathing technique mentioned, the 4-7-8 breath. I think I've heard this one is good for sleep.
That's exactly its main aim. It's designed to slow your heart rate and really induce relaxation, perfect for drifting off.
How's that sequence go?
First, exhale completely through your mouth, make a whoosh sound.
Yep.
Then close your mouth, inhale quietly through your nose for a count of 4.
4.
Hold your breath for a count of 7.
7. Long hold.
Yep. Then exhale completely through your mouth, again with the whoosh sound, for a count of 8.
8. Okay, so long exhale too.
Exactly. That's 1 breath cycle. You repeat that up to 4 times in total.
So it's actually quite quick, the whole thing. Mere 2 or 3 minutes max?
Yeah, each cycle is about 19 seconds. It's a fast track to signaling time to relax to your body.
Best time is definitely bedtime then, or high anxiety moments.
Ideal times, yes. You can do it daily, once or twice. It was popularized by Dr. Andrew Weil, but it draws on ancient yogic breathing wisdom too.
So lots of breathing options. It sounds like the main message is experiment.
That's it exactly. Try them out, see which ones feel best for you, which ones leave you feeling calmer, more centered.
And consistency is key, right?
Absolutely. Like any skill, the more you practice, the more effective they become. Consistency is the secret sauce.
Okay, great foundation. Moving beyond breath, what else does the guide offer? Physical stuff.
Yes. The next section covers grounding techniques and the huge benefits of physical activity. Let's start with grounding, or sometimes it's called earthing.
Earthing, like plugging into the planet.
Kind of, yeah. It's about physically reconnecting with the Earth's surface. Think walking barefoot on grass, soil, sand, even rock.
Okay, why? What's the idea behind that?
The theory is that direct contact allows your body to absorb the Earth's natural, subtle electrical charge. Some research, still growing, suggests this might help reduce inflammation, improve mood, maybe even boost energy.
Interesting. How long do you need to be barefoot outside?
The guide recommends aiming for at least 10, maybe 15 minutes, ideally longer, maybe 30 minutes on average.
When's a good time?
Morning can be great, connecting with the day, or really any time you feel disconnected, maybe too much screen time. Daily, if possible, is ideal.
Is this a new thing?
Not at all. The concept is ancient, found in many cultures. But there's renewed scientific interest in its potential benefits, like better emotional regulation, less stress, better sleep, more energy.
Okay, I can see the appeal. Simple connection. And then, of course, there's just moving your body. Good old exercise.
Absolutely essential. Exercise is like a Swiss Army knife for stress, mood, and energy. It triggers endorphins.
It's the feel-good chemicals.
Exactly. And others like serotonin and dopamine, too. The guide points out a few specific types of activity.
Like walking in a specific kind of forest, coniferous. Why that?
Ah, that connects to the Japanese practice of Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing. It's less about intense hiking, more about just being in the forest atmosphere.
Okay.
And studies have actually shown that time spent in forests, especially those with conifers like pine or fir trees, can lower cortisol levels and boost well-being. Something about the air, the phytoncides the trees release.
Fascinating. What about more standard exercise?
Yep, the guide covers simple things too. Aerobic exercise, brisk walking, jogging, dancing, fantastic for serotonin and dopamine.
Right.
And getting some morning sunlight safely, of course, helps with vitamin D production.
Which is linked to mood.
Yes, and serotonin. We'll touch on sunlight again later. And mindful movements like Tai Chi or yoga, they can potentially increase dopamine and also GABA, which promotes relaxation.
So how much movement are we aiming for?
The general advice holds at least 30 minutes of moderate activity most days, maybe aiming for 30 to 60 minutes.
When's best?
Morning or early afternoon often gives the best energy and mood boost for the day, but honestly, the most important thing is finding something you actually enjoy.
So you'll stick with it.
Exactly. Consistency is everything. Even small bits regularly add up.
Makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving on to something more hands-on. Massage and self-massage.
Right. Massage is ancient, known for relaxation and healing. And the great news is you can get a lot of those benefits yourself with simple self-massage.
What kind of techniques are we talking about? Where should we focus?
The guide suggests areas that typically hold tension, like your shoulders and neck, gentle kneading, stroking motions, especially if you sit a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely feel it there.
A quick hand massage, palms, fingers, back of the hands, that's great anytime, anywhere for quick relief.
Yeah.
Foot massage before bed, focusing on the soles, arches, toes. Very soothing.
Sounds lovely.
And even just massaging your scalp gently with your fingertips can really help with headaches and general tension.
How long should these self-massages take?
Could be 5 minutes, could be 30, maybe average around 15. Depends on what you're doing and how much time you have.
Best time.
Evening is great for winding down, or honestly, anytime you feel that tension building up, daily or just as needed.
The guide also mentions acupressure. That's
Oh.
related to acupuncture, right? But without needles.
Exactly. Digitopuncture is another name. It's based on traditional Chinese medicine TCM, applying pressure to specific points or acupoints to stimulate energy flow key and promote balance and relief.
Okay, so which points are most helpful for stress and sleep? The guide mentions 4 key ones.
Yes. First is pericardium 6 or P6, often called the inner gate.
Where is that?
Find your wrist crease on the palm side. Go down about 3 finger widths right in the middle between the 2 main tendons you feel there.
Okay, got it.
This point is famous for nausea relief, but it's also really good for calming anxiety and helping with sleep. Apply firm but gentle circular pressure for a minute or two. Might feel a bit tender.
Good to know. Point number 2.
Heart 7, or H7, the spirit gate. This one's on the outer wrist crease, the pinky finger side, in that little hollow you can feel.
Outer wrist crease, pinky side.
Okay. Used traditionally to calm the mind, ease anxiety, improve sleep. Again, gentle circular pressure, 1 to 2 minutes.
Clear to point.
Spleen 6, SP6. 3-yin intersection. This one's on your inner leg. Find your inner ankle bone. Measure about 4 finger widths straight up from there, just behind the shin bone.
Okay, inner ankle, 4 fingers up.
Right. It's used for lots of things, including insomnia and anxiety, but a key point. Avoid this one if you are pregnant.
Okay, important caution, same pressure.
Firm but gentle pressure, 1 to 2 minutes.
And the last one, GV20.
Governing vessel 20, yes. Or 100 meetings. This one's easy to find right on the very top of your head. Imagine a line going up from the top of each ear where they meet in the middle.
Top center of the head.
Exactly. Great for calming the mind, relieving stress, headaches. Gentle pressure here, maybe with your thumb or finger, 1 to 2 minutes.
So for all these points, just a couple of minutes of pressure when needed.
Yeah, 1 to 5 minutes per point is the range. 2 is a good average. Anytime you feel stressed, or definitely before bed, daily is fine, or just when you need that extra bit of calm.
The guide also suggests maybe combining massage with essential oils.
Yes, that can really boost the relaxation effect. Lavender is the classic, very calming, great for sleep.
What others?
Chamomile, bergamot are also nice soothing options. The crucial thing is dilution.
Right, don't put them straight on the skin.
Never. Mix just a few drops into a carrier oil like almond oil, jojoba, even olive oil in a pinch.
Then what? Massage it in.
Gently massage the diluted oil onto pulse points, wrists, temples, neck. Or you can use it on those acupressure points we just discussed.
Any safety things with essential oils? Besides dilution.
Always do a patch test first, just a small spot on your arm to check for sensitivity, and never ever ingest them.
Got it. And these oils cost money, unlike just using your fingers.
True, that's a factor. The guide suggests maybe 5-10 minutes for an essential oil massage, maybe before sleep, daily, or as needed. The combo of touch, pressure points, and calming scent can be really powerful together.
Okay, great. Let's shift focus a bit. Talk about what we put in our bodies. Magnesium seems to be a big one in the guide.
Huge. Magnesium is involved in so many things, but especially muscle relaxation, nerve function, and regulating neurotransmitters related to mood and sleep.
And stress affects our levels.
It does. Chronic stress can actually deplete magnesium, which can then make you feel more stressed. A bit of a vicious cycle.
Hmm. So how do we get more? Food first.
Always best to start with food. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, nuts, seeds. Pumpkin seeds are great. Legumes, beans, lentils, whole grains.
What about supplements?
They're an option. Forms like magnesium citrate or glycinate are often recommended because they're well absorbed. But, and this is important, you really need to talk to a healthcare professional first
Why is that?
to figure out if you actually need it, what dose is right for you, and if it might interact with any medications you're taking. Too much magnesium can cause digestive upset too.
Okay, doctor first.
Yeah.
When would you typically take a supplement?
Often suggested in the evening to help with sleep, but focus on getting it from food throughout the day too.
Are there other minerals the guide flags?
Briefly mentions zinc important for immunity, possibly linked to mood, found in meat, poultry, seafood, legumes.
Okay.
Iron, crucial for energy. Deficiency causes fatigue. Red meat, spinach, lentils are good sources.
Right.
And B vitamins, a whole group vital for energy production, nerve function, found in whole grains, meat, eggs, dairy.
What about other supplements or foods? Beyond minerals?
Omega-3 fatty acids get a mention, good for brain health, mood. Found in fatty fish, flax seeds, walnuts.
Mm-hmm.
L-theanine, an amino acid found in green tea, promotes relaxation without drowsiness.
Interesting.
Chamomile, the classic calming herb, usually as tea, and valerian root, sometimes used for sleep, but be aware of potential side effects and interactions there too.
So the overall message on supplements seems to be tread carefully.
Exactly. Research is still ongoing for many of these. Individual results vary. Food first, always. A balanced, nutrient-rich diet is priority one. Supplements are really only if you have a documented deficiency or specific need, and ideally under professional guidance.
Makes sense. And diet itself, beyond just specific nutrients, gets highlighted too, along with fasting.
Absolutely. And the foundation is a balanced diet. Lots of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean protein, healthy fats. That builds resilience.
And limiting certain things.
Big impact. Cutting back on processed foods, added sugar, excessive caffeine, that can really help your mood, energy, and sleep.
The guide mentions FODM maps.
Yes, a low FOD MAP diet might help some people whose gut issues, like IBS, are worsened by stress, and fiber generally is great for gut health, which we now know is strongly linked to mood and stress response indirectly.
Okay. Now, intermittent fasting, IF. What's the guide's take on that? It's everywhere.
It is. EVF involves cycling between eating and fasting periods, like the 168 method, eating only within an 8-hour window.
Why do people do it?
Potential benefits being studied include better insulin sensitivity, cellular repair processes like autophagy. Some people report better mental clarity, less inflammation, improved mood.
But there's always a but.
But the guide urges real caution. You absolutely must talk to your doctor before trying any fasting, especially if you have underlying health conditions like diabetes or a history of eating disorders.
So it's not a magic bullet for stress and anxiety.
While some studies hint at benefits, we need more research specifically on IF's impact on stress, anxiety, and sleep in the context of these functional disorders. It's a significant physiological change, not for everyone. Medical advice is crucial.
Got it. Okay, let's pivot back to movement. Specifically yoga. The guide includes some simple poses.
Yes, yoga is fantastic because it combines the physical postures with breathing and mindfulness. It's well known for helping with stress, relaxation, energy, sleep. The guide picks out a few beginner-friendly ones.
Like child's pose. That sounds gentle.
It is Balasana. You kneel, bring your big toes together, sit back on your heels and fold forward, resting your torso on your thighs. Arms can be stretched forward or back alongside your body.
What's it good for?
Gentle stretch for hips, thighs, ankles. Very calming for the brain, relieves stress and fatigue. You can hold it for 30 seconds up to several minutes. Great anytime, especially before sleep. Daily, if you like.
Okay. Legs up the wall pose. Viparita Karani. I've heard this is super relaxing.
Incredibly restorative. You literally just lie on your back with your legs resting straight up against a wall, but close to the wall.
That's it.
Pretty much. It calms the nervous system, reduces anxiety and stress, promotes relaxation. Hold for 5 to 15 minutes. Excellent before sleep or during stressful times. Highly recommended daily.
And corpse pose. Savasana. The one everyone looks forward to at the end of class.
Yes. Lying flat on your back, arms and legs slightly spread, palms up. It seems like doing nothing, but it's fundamental for deep relaxation. Reduces stress, calms the mind.
How long?
5 to 20 minutes. End of a yoga session or anytime you need to completely let go, you could do it daily.
Cat-cow pose.
Yeah.
That sounds more active.
Itilasana, Marjorie Asana. It's a gentle flowing movement on hands and knees. You alternate between arching your back, dropping your belly, lifting head and tailbone. Cow.
Inhale.
Usually inhale into cow, then exhale as you round your spine up towards the ceiling, tucking your chin and tailbone. Cat.
Okay.
Great for spinal flexibility, relieves tension, improves posture, balance. Flow with your breath for a minute or two. Good for energizing or releasing stiffness anytime. Daily is good.
Last one. Gentle forward fold variation.
Uttanasana variation.
Yeah.
Standing, feet hip width apart, soft bend in the knees. Hinge forward from your hips, let your head hang heavy, maybe hold opposite elbow.
That's the benefit.
Calms the brain, helps relieve stress, maybe even mild depression. Stretches hamstrings and back gently. Hold for 30 seconds to a minute. Good for releasing tension anytime, daily or as needed.
With all yoga, sounds like listening to your body is key.
Crucial. Modify anything that doesn't feel right, especially if you're a beginner. The guide rightly suggests getting guidance from a qualified instructor if you can. They can really help with alignment and finding the right modifications for you.
Definitely. Now, this next bit sounds really interesting. Using self-hypnosis and autosuggestion. How does that work for stress?
These are techniques for using your own mind, basically. Self-hypnosis isn't spooky stage stuff. It's a state of deep focus and relaxation where you can access your unconscious mind more easily.
Like daydreaming.
Kind of, yeah. It's a natural state. You bypass the usual critical, analytical part of your conscious mind, making the unconscious more open to positive suggestions for change. It's been used therapeutically for a long time.
So how do you do self-hypnosis?
Find a quiet, comfy spot. Use a simple technique to relax deeply. Maybe focusing on your breath, tensing and releasing muscles progressively, or visualizing a peaceful scene.
Okay, get relaxed. Then what?
Then you introduce your autosuggestion, positive statements in the present tense about how you want to feel or be, like, I feel calm and peaceful. My body is deeply relaxed. I sleep easily and soundly.
Keep them simple and positive.
Exactly. You might deepen the state by imagining walking downstairs or counting down. Then, when you're ready, you gently bring yourself back to full alertness.
How long does the session take?
Anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes, maybe 15-20 on average, before sleep is great or first thing in the morning or anytime you feel stressed. Daily or as needed is recommended. It's also used for pain, habits, confidence.
And autosuggestion on its own, how is that different?
Autosuggestion is more conscious. You're deliberately feeding positive thoughts and affirmations to your unconscious, repeating positive statements silently or aloud, really focusing on the feeling behind them.
Like positive self-talk.
Exactly. Visualizing the desired outcome vividly helps too. Some people write their affirmations down and read them regularly.
When would you use just autosuggestion?
Throughout the day, whenever you notice negative thoughts or before something challenging, just a few minutes at a time, maybe 5-10 minutes total across the day, but frequently.
So for both of these, consistency and believing it can work are important.
Absolutely crucial. They work through repetition and that mind-body connection. Regular practice and a positive expectation make a huge difference.
Okay. We touched on sunlight earlier for vitamin D and mood. The guide comes back to combining morning sun with breathing.
Yes, it suggests leveraging both together for an amplified effect. Morning sunlight, as we said, helps vitamin D synthesis, boosts serotonin for well-being, and crucially helps set your internal body clock, your circadian rhythm.
Which means better sleep later.
Exactly. Regulating that rhythm is key for sleep quality.
And doing breathing exercises while getting that sun.
Yeah, practicing something simple like diaphragmatic breathing or box breathing while you're outside in that early morning light, it's like a double dose of goodness for body and mind.
Are there safety tips for the sun exposure part?
Definitely. Aim for early morning, like within an hour of sunrise when the UV index is lowest. Start with just 5-10 minutes. See how your skin reacts, maybe increase gradually.
Avoid peak sun hours.
For sure. Use sun protection if you're out longer. Don't stare directly at the sun, especially when starting. Wear light clothing. It's about finding that balance, getting the benefits without the risks. Consulting a dermatologist is always smart for personalized advice.
Okay. The guide also talks about using water both hot and cold. That sounds intriguing.
It is. They offer different benefits. Let's start with cold. Ending your shower with a blast of cold water.
Brr. Why would I do that?
Huh. It's surprisingly invigorating. Can really shake off fatigue. May boost mood. Maybe an endorphin release. And it definitely stimulates circulation.
How cold and for how long?
Just gradually turn the temperature down at the very end of your normal warm shower. Aim for 30 seconds to maybe a minute. It takes getting used to, but many people swear by it.
Okay. Maybe I'll try it.
Hmm.
Maybe. What about hot water? Baths?
The classic hot bath. Great for relaxing tense muscles just from the heat itself. The guide specifically mentions adding Epsom salts.
Which have magnesium, right?
Yes, magnesium sulfate. Now, how much magnesium actually gets absorbed through the skin is debated by science. But anecdotally, many people find soaking in an Epsom salt bath very relaxing and feel it helps boost magnesium levels, promoting that muscle relaxation and calm.
How much salt? How long?
Recommend adding 1 to 2 cups to a warm, not scalding bath. Soak for 15 to 20 minutes. Just be cautious if you have certain health conditions like heart problems or diabetes. Check with your doctor and make sure the water isn't too hot.
And beyond hot and cold, just drinking enough water is important too.
Absolutely fundamental. Hydration impacts everything. Energy levels, concentration, stress management. Being even mildly dehydrated can make you feel tired, headachy, foggy.
Which just makes stress feel worse.
Exactly. So the guide stresses aiming for enough water daily. Listen to your thirst. Make it a regular habit throughout the day. Simple, but so important.
Okay. Now for something that sounds a bit more high-tech, maybe, binaural beats, music, and laughter.
Yeah, tapping into the power of sound and emotion. Binaural beats are interesting. It's an auditory illusion. You listen through stereo headphones.
Has to be headphones.
Yes, because you get a slightly different sound frequency in each ear. Your brain then perceives a third frequency, the difference between the two.
Okay. And that does what?
That perceived beat can gently encourage your brainwaves to sync up with it. Different frequencies are linked to different states. Delta waves for deep sleep, theta for meditation or creativity, alpha for relaxed calm, beta for focus, though lower beta can also be calming.
So you choose the frequency for the state you want.
That's the idea, like listening to binaural beats for sleep or binaural beats for anxiety. Lots available on YouTube, Spotify, etc.
How do you use them effectively?
Use stereo headphones. Find a quiet place. Start with maybe 15-30-minute sessions, moderate volume, good before sleep, during meditation, or when feeling anxious, daily or as needed.
And just regular music. We all know that helps mood.
Totally. Listening to music you enjoy releases dopamine, lifts mood, distracts from worries, can even reduce muscle tension and lower stress hormones. Calming music, especially, is great for winding down before sleep. Think classical, nature sounds, ambient, whatever works for you.
And laughter. The best medicine.
It really is powerful. Laughter physically stimulates organs, boosts oxygen intake, it fires up and then cools down your stress response, relaxes muscles. Some evidence suggests it even helps your immune system.
So it literally counters stress.
Yes. Lessens stress, depression, anxiety, improves mood, self-esteem. The guide suggests actively seeking it out, watch comedies, hang out with funny friends, maybe even try laughter yoga.
So experiment with sounds and find ways to laugh more.
Exactly. See what resonates, what brings you relief.
Yeah, now we shift to things that definitely cost money. Paid high-tech relaxation devices. What does the guide cover here?
It acknowledges these exist, but with a cost factor. Examples include things like neurofeedback devices, headbands that monitor brain waves and give you feedback to help you learn self-regulation, often explored for ADHD or anxiety.
What else?
Virtual reality, VR systems designed for relaxation. They create immersive, calming scenes, guided meditations, nature walks, shows potential for pain and anxiety management too.
Interesting.
Light therapy glasses using specific light wavelength to help regulate circadian rhythms, potentially for sleep issues or seasonal affective disorder, SAD.
Okay.
Audiovisual entrainment, or AVE devices, use synchronized light and sound patterns to guide brainwaves toward relaxation or focus. And at-home transcranial magnetic stimulation, TMS devices.
TMS, isn't that a clinical treatment?
It is well established clinically for depression and anxiety. At-home versions are emerging technologies, so the guide stresses proceeding with caution and definitely talking to a professional.
These aren't necessarily DIY solutions.
No, especially things like TMS. Neurofeedback is used professionally for ADHD, VR for pain distraction in hospitals. The guide strongly advises thorough research, considering the budget, and realizing these are not replacements for proper medical advice or treatment.
And talk to your doctor before buying anything.
Absolutely essential, especially with underlying health conditions. These are tools potentially helpful for some, but require informed consideration.
Right. Okay, let's move to something totally free, but maybe challenging for some. Digital detox.
Ah, yes. So important in our always-on world. That constant connectivity, the endless stream of information, it fuels stress, anxiety, fatigue, and really messes with sleep.
So a digital detox is just stepping away.
Voluntarily reducing screen time, yeah. To find more balance, improve well-being.
What are the main benefits the guide points out?
Reduce stress and anxiety is a big one. Just calming the mental noise. Better sleep quality, getting away from that blue light before bed helps your natural melatonin production.
Makes sense.
Often increased energy, less fatigue because your brain gets a chance to rest, better focus and productivity without constant dings and notifications.
Stronger real-life connections too, I imagine.
Definitely. More time and mental space for face-to-face interaction and rediscovering time for yourself, reading, hobbies, nature, just being.
Okay, sounds great in theory. How do you actually do it effectively?
The guide suggests practical steps. Set specific screen-free times, maybe the first 30, 60 minutes after waking. During meals, definitely at least an hour before bed. Maybe even try a screen-free half-day or full day regularly.
Create tech-free zones.
Yes. Bedroom is key. Make it a sanctuary for sleep. Maybe the dining table, too. Encourage conversation.
Manage notifications. Turn them off.
Disable non-essential ones. Use Do Not Disturb mode strategically during your offline times. Be conscious about setting limits. Maybe use app timers on your phone. Be aware of mindless scrolling.
And plan other things too.
Crucial. Have offline activities ready. Rediscover passion, spend time outside, connect with people in person.
And be patient with yourself. It might be hard at first.
Absolutely. Start small, maybe just 30 minutes before bed. Gradually increase. Don't beat yourself up if you slip. It's a process.
It really sounds like consciously creating boundaries.
Exactly. The guide frames it almost as a necessity now for well-being. These strategies can significantly cut down stress, anxiety, fatigue, improve sleep, and foster deeper connections.
Okay. Next section title is quite direct. A lightened body, a soothed mind. Limiting and eliminating harmful substances.
Yes, this really drives home the connection between what we consume and how we feel physically and mentally, especially regarding stress, fatigue, sleep. Making conscious choices here is presented as key for deep balance.
And it names names, right? The main culprits.
Directly addresses alcohol, tobacco, and illicit drugs. States plainly that they increase stress, anxiety, and disrupt sleep cycles.
How so?
Alcohol might feel relaxing initially, but it fragments sleep, reduces the good REM stages, often leads to rebound anxiety later. Tobacco nicotine is a stimulant, makes it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. Quitting brings huge benefits, though.
And other drugs.
Major, complex, negative impacts on the nervous system, leading to imbalances in mood, energy, anxiety, sleep. The guide is clear. Eliminating these is often necessary for sustainable well-being.
It also talks about more everyday things, excesses that can still cause problems.
Yes, things many people consume regularly that can undermine efforts. Caffeine is a big one.
Coffee, tea, energy drinks.
Right, it's a stimulant. Can worsen anxiety, interfere with sleep onset, cause energy crashes. Too much, or having it too late in the day, often linked to insomnia and nervousness.
What else?
Refined sugar and ultra-processed foods. They cause blood sugar spikes and crashes, leading to fatigue, irritability, more cravings. Can mess with your gut bacteria, which we know links to mood and anxiety. Plus, they often contain unhealthy inflammatory fats.
The guide acknowledges that cutting back on these things isn't always easy initially. Withdrawal.
It does. Mentions potential temporary symptoms, irritability, maybe more fatigue initially, headaches, digestive changes, sleep disruption. But it frames this as the body readjusting, a positive sign of returning to balance. It's transitory.
And the benefits of sticking with it.
Immense and lasting, according to the guide. Big reduction in stress and anxiety, dramatic improvements in sleep quality, more stable, natural energy, better mood, mental clarity, better overall physical health.
Does it suggest ways to support your body during this change?
Simple things. Stay well hydrated, lots of water, eat a nutrient-rich, high-fiber diet, get regular physical activity. These help the body's natural elimination processes.
So choosing to limit or stop these is really an act of self-care.
That's the message. It's foundational for lasting well-being. A challenge, maybe, but worth the effort.
Okay, almost there. The guide wraps up with a few extra techniques, sort of bonus tips.
Yes, 3 more simple but potentially powerful tools. First is expressive writing or journaling.
Just writing stuff down.
Pretty much. Freely writing your thoughts, feelings, worries, successes. Whatever's on your mind. No filter. It's free, effective. Helps externalize stress, gain perspective, see patterns, release emotional tension.
How is it different from autosuggestion?
The main goal is observation and expression, getting it out, not necessarily trying to directly change your mental state in the moment, more about processing.
Okay. Second bonus technique.
Learning to set boundaries and say no. Feeling overwhelmed often comes from being overcommitted, right?
Definitely.
So, learning to identify your limits, communicate them calmly, and say no when needed, that's presented as a crucial preventative stress management skill. Takes self-awareness and practice, but it's free.
Huge one. And the last extra tip,
Integrating micro moments of mindfulness.
micro moments, like
Yeah.
tiny bits.
Exactly. Not long meditation sessions, but super short instances of being present during your day. Maybe taking 3 conscious breaths before opening that email, mindfully noticing the first 3 bites of your lunch, feeling the water in the shower for a few seconds, fully being present, looking out the window for just 1 minute.
So quick, easy things.
Free, quick, anchors you right back in the present moment, interrupting the stress cycle. Really effective.
Wow. So that is a huge range of techniques we've
It
covered.
really is, from breathing, grounding, massage, acupressure, diet, yoga, self-hypnosis.
Sunlight, water, binaural beats, music, laughter, digital detox, limiting substances.
And those final tips, writing, boundaries, micro-mindfulness. It's a comprehensive toolkit, mostly non-medicinal approaches.
And the core message seems to be that finding what works for you is the key. It's personal.
Exactly. It's a journey. Experiment. Be patient with yourself. Persist. Even small, consistent efforts can really add up.
Leading to real improvements in stress, anxiety, energy, sleep, overall quality of life.
That's the potential.
But always with that crucial reminder.
Absolutely vital. This information is not medical advice. If you have persistent or worrying symptoms, physical or mental, please consult a healthcare professional. That's always step 1.
Well, this has been incredibly useful. It feels empowering to know there are so many accessible, mostly free things we can try to, take better care of ourselves.
It really is. And even when life feels crazy busy, remembering that those small, consistent steps towards self-care can make a profound difference. That's a powerful thought to hold on to. It's worth exploring for yourself.